Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're taking a look at 5 interesting US nickels from different years: 1958, 1994, 1995, 2000, and 2020. We'll explore their designs, minting details, and what makes each of them special for collectors. Whether you're a coin collector or just curious about these unique pieces of history, stick around as we uncover the stories behind these iconic nickels. Let's get started. The 1958 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, may seem like just another ordinary piece of currency, but it holds a special place in the hearts of coin collectors. In fact, this relatively simple coin has an interesting backstory, including its design, minting details, and the unique varieties that have made it highly sought after by numismatists. Let's start by setting the historical context for the 1958 nickel. The United States in 1958 was in the midst of a post-World War II boom. The economy was thriving, and the country was experiencing a sense of peace and prosperity. The 1950s was a time when consumer goods were on the rise, and the middle class was expanding rapidly. People were spending more money, driving the demand for coins. The U.S. Mint was working tirelessly to produce coins for this booming economy. The 1958 nickel, like its predecessors, was produced in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. However, it's the minting process of this particular year that adds an intriguing layer of interest for collectors. The 1958 nickel was struck with a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a blend that was first used in the 1860s and became standard for most of the 20th century. This specific composition of metals contributes to the unique weight, shine, and wear patterns that collectors often look for when evaluating the condition of the coin. Next, let's talk about the design of the 1958 nickel. On the obverse, you'll find a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States. This design, created by Felix Schlag, has been in circulation since 1938. It's a dignified and thoughtful rendering of Jefferson, with his signature appearing below his profile. Surrounding his portrait are the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," a reflection of the ideals held by Jefferson and the country he helped shape. The reverse of the coin features an image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, a neoclassical plantation house in Virginia. This design, also created by Schlag, has been a staple on the nickel since 1938 as well. Monticello is an iconic symbol of Jefferson's life and legacy, a fitting tribute to his role in the history of the nation. The reverse side also displays the phrase, "E pluribus unum," out of many, one, the denomination, 5 cents, and United States of America. This imagery would remain on the nickel until 2004, when it was replaced with a new design in honor of Jefferson's bicentennial. But why is the 1958 nickel so valuable to collectors? While most coins produced in this year are relatively common, there are a few key varieties and errors that make some of them incredibly rare and valuable. For instance, one of the most notable error types is the struck-through error, where foreign material, such as grease or debris, becomes trapped in the die used to strike the coin. This can cause parts of the coin's design to be absent or misaligned, creating a unique and highly collectible variation. The 1958 nickel is also prized for its proof coins, which were minted at the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins were produced specifically for collectors, and they were struck multiple times with specially polished dies, resulting in a mirror-like finish. The 1958 proof nickel is highly valued among collectors, especially those in pristine condition. Proof coins tend to fetch higher prices at auctions, as they are rarer and are considered to be the highest quality of coin available. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1958 nickel with an error or a proof version, it could be worth much more than its nominal 5-cent value. Depending on its condition, rarity, and whether it's an error coin, a 1958 nickel could sell for anywhere from a few dollars to several thousand. In the case of particularly rare proof coins or those with unique errors, such as struck-through coins, the value can skyrocket. Some have even been known to fetch upwards of $156,000 in auction sales. That's right, a 1958 nickel could be worth over $150,000, a surprising amount for a coin that was once used as everyday currency. Collectors of coins like the 1958 nickel appreciate the coin not only for its design and historical significance, but also for the stories it can tell. Error coins, such as those with misaligned dies or unusual minting marks, add an element of mystery and excitement to the collecting process. The pursuit of these rare finds is one of the things that makes coin collecting so rewarding. What makes the 1958 nickel even more fascinating is its role in the broader history of U.S. coinage. The use of Jefferson's portrait and Monticello on the nickel has made it one of the most recognizable designs in American coin history. Jefferson, who was instrumental in the early development of the nation, continues to be an iconic figure on U.S. currency. The Monticello reverse design is equally significant, representing not only Jefferson's architectural legacy but also the larger cultural and historical impact of his life. When it comes to determining the value of a 1958 nickel, condition is everything. The higher the grade of the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that have been well preserved, without major scratches or discoloration, are often more desirable. The most valuable 1958 nickels are those that are in mint state, free from wear, and with strong, clear details. As with most coins, the rarer and more pristine the condition, the more likely it is to command a high price. It's important to note that the 1958 nickel is far from the only coin in U.S. numismatics with a story to tell. In fact, every coin in American history has its own tale of design, production, and discovery. But the 1958 nickel holds a special place because of the historical context in which it was made, the famous designs it bears, and the potential for rare and valuable varieties. To wrap up the story of the 1958 nickel, it's clear that while it may have been a common coin in circulation in 1958, it holds significant value today, especially for collectors who specialize in rare error coins or high-quality proof versions. Its design, historical importance, and collectible nature have ensured that the 1958 nickel remains a key piece of American numismatics, with prices that can reach astonishing heights. As we move on to the second coin in our series, the 1994 5-cent nickel, we will explore yet another interesting chapter in the history of U.S. coinage. While the 1994 nickel may not have the same level of historical significance as the 1958 version, it holds its own appeal for collectors, particularly when it comes to its unique error varieties and minting details. The 1994 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel, is part of the long-standing series featuring Thomas Jefferson and his estate, Monticello. While it may not have the same level of historic intrigue as some other coins, it still holds an important place in the collection of modern U.S. coinage. Like the 1958 nickel, the 1994 version features the classic Jefferson obverse and Monticello reverse, but there's much more to this coin than meets the eye, especially when we delve into its minting process, potential errors, and collector appeal. The historical context of the 1994 nickel. The 1990s were a time of transition in the United States. The country was moving through a period of technological growth, economic stability, and global influence. It was a time of significant change, from the rise of the Internet to major shifts in the political landscape. The U.S. Mint, while continuing to produce coins at an industrial scale, was still using designs that had been in circulation for decades. The 1994 nickel was no exception, as it was minted with the same iconic design introduced in 1938 by artist Felix Schlag. The 1994 nickel was produced in large numbers, with millions of these coins entering circulation across the country. As a result, finding a 1994 nickel in average circulation condition is relatively easy. However, as we explore the characteristics of this coin in more detail, we'll see that it holds a lot more value for collectors who are looking for unique varieties, proof versions, and even rare errors that make certain 1994 nickels stand out from the crowd. The design of the 1994 nickel, much like the 1958 nickel, the 1994 5-cent coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. Jefferson was one of the founding fathers of the United States, and his likeness has been used on the nickel since 1938. The obverse design, which shows a side profile of Jefferson, includes the inscription, Liberty, the year of minting, and the national motto, In God We Trust. Jefferson's face is captured in a dignified, slightly formal manner, reflecting his important place in American history as the third President of the United States and the author of the Declaration of Independence. The reverse of the 1994 nickel continues the use of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, which has been a prominent feature of the nickel since 1938. Monticello is an iconic symbol of Jefferson's legacy, not only as a politician and philosopher but also as an architect and landowner. The reverse design was created by Felix Schlag and shows the neoclassical building in the background, with E pluribus unum, out of many, one, inscribed above it. Below Monticello, you'll find the words United States of America and the denomination 5 cents. The Monticello reverse design has remained virtually unchanged for decades, and it's considered one of the most enduring symbols on U.S. coinage. This connection between Jefferson, his home, and the nation's early history gives the 1994 nickel a sense of continuity in the broader scope of American numismatics. The minting process of the 1994 nickel, like most coins of the time, the 1994 nickel was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mints produced large quantities of coins to meet the demand for everyday currency. The 1994 nickel was struck using the same composition that had been used for decades, 75% copper and 25% nickel. This blend of metals gives the coin its signature silver-like appearance and durability. Over the years, this alloy has proven to be long-lasting, meaning that coins like the 1994 nickel are likely to survive in circulation for many years without deteriorating. The U.S. Mint also produces proof versions of certain coins, including the nickel, which are specially struck for collectors. Proof coins are made with highly polished dies, resulting in a coin with a mirror-like finish and sharp, crisp details. The 1994 proof nickel, struck at the San Francisco Mint, is a particularly desirable version for collectors due to its exceptional quality and limited mintage. These proof coins were not meant for circulation but rather for numismatic purposes, and as such, they are considered more valuable than coins struck for general use. Proof coins, like the 1994 nickel, are typically sold in sets or individually to collectors who want the finest quality versions of U.S. coins. These coins are often stored in protective cases to prevent damage and maintain their pristine condition. As such, proof coins are highly sought after by collectors and tend to command higher prices in the market. Notable errors and varieties of the 1994 nickel. As with many coins, the 1994 nickel also has its share of errors and varieties, and these make the coin particularly interesting to collectors. One of the most well-known errors that can occur during the minting process is the double die variety, which occurs when the design is struck multiple times, resulting in noticeable doubling on certain elements of the coin. For the 1994 nickel, this doubling can be particularly evident on the date, where the digits appear to be duplicated, creating a noticeable error that stands out to collectors. A 1994 nickel with a double die strike is considered a rare and valuable find. Depending on the severity of the doubling, such coins can fetch several $100s, if not more. These types of error coins are highly prized in the numismatic community because they are unique and add an extra layer of intrigue and rarity to an otherwise common coin. While not all 1994 nickels exhibit these errors, those that do can become a focal point of a collection, and they often attract competitive bidding at coin auctions. In addition to double die errors, other types of minting errors can also increase the value of a 1994 nickel. Die cracks, which occur when the dies used to strike the coin develop small fractures, can cause irregularities in the design. These die cracks may appear on the coin's surface, distorting certain features of the image. While not as dramatic as double die errors, coins with die cracks can still be valuable, especially if the cracks are particularly pronounced. Collector appeal and value of the 1994 nickel. For most people, a 1994 nickel is just another coin worth 5 cents. However, for collectors, the value of this coin depends on several factors, including its condition, rarity, and the presence of any unique varieties or minting errors. A regular, uncirculated 1994 nickel in good condition will be worth its face value of 5 cents, while a coin with signs of wear or damage will typically be worth less. However, the value of the 1994 nickel can rise considerably if it is a proof coin or if it exhibits one of the rare minting errors we've discussed. A 1994 proof nickel, in mint condition, can be worth anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on the market demand and the coin's condition. Proof coins are always more expensive than circulation coins because of their higher quality and lower mintage numbers. As for error coins, the value of a 1994 nickel with a doubled die strike or other significant minting flaw can vary widely. In some cases, these error coins can fetch several $100s, and if the error is particularly rare or severe, the price could rise even higher. Overall, while the 1994 nickel might not be the most valuable or historically significant coin in U.S. numismatics, it still holds a place of interest among collectors due to the possibility of rare varieties, minting errors, and proof versions. Coins like the 1994 nickel help demonstrate the wide range of opportunities that exist in the world of coin collecting, and for those who know where to look, it can be an exciting and rewarding pursuit. Conclusion: the legacy of the 1994 nickel. The 1994 nickel is a reminder that even in the modern era of coinage, there are still interesting finds to be made and valuable coins to be discovered. While it may not have the same historical weight as some earlier coins, it is an important part of the story of U.S. currency. Whether you are a collector searching for rare minting errors or a casual enthusiast interested in proof versions, the 1994 nickel offers a wealth of opportunities for discovery. For those who take the time to explore the details of this coin, there is a world of value and significance hidden in plain sight. The 1995 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, is another coin in the long-running series featuring Thomas Jefferson and his iconic home, Monticello. While the coin's design hasn't changed much over the years, the 1995 nickel still holds a special place in the hearts of collectors, especially those who are keen on finding rare varieties or specific minting errors. In this section, we'll explore the history, design, minting process, and collector appeal of the 1995 nickel, revealing why this seemingly ordinary coin might be worth much more than its face value. The historical context of the 1995 nickel. In 1995, the United States had entered a period of economic growth and technological advancement. The country was in the midst of the digital revolution, with personal computers becoming more accessible, the internet beginning to take shape, and mobile phones gaining popularity. The early 1990s also saw a booming economy, low inflation, and a relatively stable political climate. Amid this backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued its tradition of producing coins to meet the needs of everyday transactions. In 1995, the U.S. Mint was still striking coins with designs that were over half a century old, but this continuity in coin design provided stability and familiarity to the American public. The 1995 nickel, like many coins from this period, was struck in massive quantities to keep up with the growing demand for coins in circulation. However, despite its widespread use, the 1995 nickel has become an interesting coin for collectors because of the potential for minting errors, as well as its significance in the broader history of U.S. coinage. The design of the 1995 nickel. The design of the 1995 nickel remains largely the same as it has been since 1938. Featuring a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and an image of his Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse. The obverse shows a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, accompanied by the inscriptions, Liberty, the year of minting, and the national motto, In God We Trust. Jefferson, as one of the founding fathers and the third President of the United States, is one of the most significant figures in American history, and his likeness has appeared on the nickel for decades. The reverse of the 1995 nickel features Monticello, Jefferson's grand plantation home. The design shows the neoclassical building in the background, with the inscriptions United States of America, e pluribus unum, out of many, one, and the denomination 5 cents appearing around the edge of the coin. Monticello was Jefferson's lifelong home, and the building represents not only his personal legacy but also the early history of the United States. The design of the nickel has remained largely unchanged, and Monticello continues to serve as an enduring symbol of American values and history. The minting process of the 1995 nickel. The 1995 nickel, like other coins of this era, was minted in large quantities to meet the demand for everyday currency. The U.S. Mint produced these coins at several locations, including the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The composition of the 1995 nickel remained the same as it had been for many years, 75% copper and 25% nickel. This composition has proven to be durable and resistant to corrosion, which is one reason why nickels have held up well over the years, often retaining much of their original appearance even after being in circulation for decades. In addition to the standard circulation versions, the U.S. Mint also produced proof versions of the 1995 nickel. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors, using polished dies and higher quality materials to create a coin with a mirror-like finish and sharp, crisp details. The 1995 proof nickel was struck at the San Francisco Mint and is considered a valuable piece for numismatists due to its quality and limited mintage. Proof coins are typically sold in sets or individually to collectors who appreciate their beauty and rarity. The proof version of the 1995 nickel is of particular interest to collectors who focus on high-quality coins. Proof coins were not intended for general circulation, which means they tend to have fewer instances of wear and damage compared to circulation coins. As a result, proof coins are typically worth more than their standard counterparts. For those seeking a flawless example of a 1995 nickel, the proof version is the ideal choice. Notable errors and varieties of the 1995 nickel. While the 1995 nickel is relatively straightforward in its design and minting process, like many other coins, it's the minting errors and rare varieties that make it especially interesting for collectors. Minting errors occur when there's an issue with the dies or other aspects of the minting process, leading to unusual features on the coin. Some of these errors are common and don't add much to the value of the coin, but others can be quite rare and valuable. One of the most notable errors for the 1995 nickel is the double die variety. A double die occurs when a coin's design is struck more than once, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the design elements. For the 1995 nickel, the doubling can often be seen in the date or the lettering on the obverse. While not every 1995 nickel shows these signs of doubling, a coin with this error is worth far more than a regular nickel. A 1995 nickel with a noticeable double die could be worth several $100s or more, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. Another type of error that may be found on the 1995 nickel is the clipped planchet error. This occurs when the metal blank, planchet, used to make the coin is not fully formed before it's struck, causing a portion of the coin to be missing. Clipped planchets are easily identifiable because they leave a distinct curved shape on the edge of the coin. These errors are relatively rare, and coins with clipped planchets are highly collectible, often commanding higher prices in the market. Die cracks, which occur when the dies used to strike the coin develop small fractures, are another form of error that can add value to a 1995 nickel. These cracks can appear on the design and cause irregularities in the coin's features, such as lines or distortions running through the text or images. While not as dramatic as a doubled die or clipped planchet, coins with die cracks are still considered valuable by collectors, especially if the cracks are particularly noticeable or located in an important part of the design. Collector appeal and value of the 1995 nickel. While the 1995 nickel is still fairly common in terms of circulation coins, it has become increasingly sought after by collectors due to its potential for error varieties, proof versions, and overall quality. The regular circulation 1995 nickel, when in good condition, is typically worth only its face value of 5 cents. However, when these coins are well preserved or exhibit errors, their value can increase dramatically. for example, a 1995 nickel with a double die variety or a clipped planchet error might be worth anywhere from $50 to $500 or more, depending on the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin. Proof coins, which were produced in limited quantities and feature a higher quality strike, can also command higher prices. A 1995 proof nickel in excellent condition could be worth around $10 to $25, but the price can increase if the coin is part of a complete proof set or if it's in exceptional condition. Some of the most valuable 1995 nickels, however, are those that feature significant minting errors or are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that are graded as MS-67 or higher by reputable grading services can fetch prices of $100 or more at auction, with certain rare varieties or error coins commanding even higher bids. These coins are sought after not only for their rarity but also for their role in showcasing the unpredictability and uniqueness of the minting process. The appeal of the 1995 nickel lies in its combination of historical significance, its relatively modern age, and the potential for discovering unique varieties and errors. While it may not have the same level of intrigue as older coins, its importance in the broader history of U.S. coinage makes it a valuable piece for collectors who appreciate the finer details of American numismatics. Conclusion: the legacy of the 1995 nickel. The 1995 nickel may seem like a simple coin at first glance, but it holds a unique place in the world of coin collecting. Whether you're drawn to its historical design, its potential for minting errors, or its status as part of the iconic Jefferson Monticello series, the 1995 nickel offers something for every collector. While the regular circulation version may only be worth its face value, error varieties and proof coins can bring the value of this coin to surprising heights. As we move forward, we'll continue to explore other coins from the U.S. Mint, including the 1995, 2000, and 2025-cent coins. Each of these coins holds its own stories, errors, and valuable varieties, making them all worth investigating for those who are passionate about coin collecting. The 2000 United States 5-cent coin, better known as the nickel, was minted at a significant time in American history. The new millennium had just begun, bringing with it an era of technological innovation, global connectivity, and cultural change. The year 2000 also marked the continuation of the U.S. Mint's long-standing tradition of producing coins bearing the image of Thomas Jefferson and his beloved estate, Monticello. While the design remained largely unchanged, the 2000 nickel offers much to explore in terms of minting details, collector appeal, and rare varieties. Whether you're a new collector or an experienced numismatist, the 2000 nickel presents a world of opportunities for discovery. The historical context of the 2000 nickel: at the turn of the 21st century, the United States was experiencing a period of relative prosperity. The country was recovering from the economic turbulence of the late 1990s, and the booming tech sector was creating new opportunities for business and innovation. This period of stability was reflected in the U.S. Mint's continued production of coins featuring familiar designs. For the 2000 nickel, the same obverse and reverse designs that had been in place since 1938 were retained, a testament to the timelessness of Jefferson's image and his connection to American history. The year 2000, however, was a time of transition in other ways. The world was anxiously awaiting the so-called Y2K bug, a potential computer glitch that many feared would wreak havoc on technology systems worldwide. Despite the widespread concerns, the millennium arrived without any major disruptions, and the year 2000 continued on with new challenges, opportunities, and changes. While the nickel design hadn't altered, it was still an essential part of the everyday life of Americans, appearing in circulation everywhere from cash registers to vending machines, and continuing to carry on Jefferson's legacy. The design of the 2000 nickel: like its predecessors, the 2000 nickel features the famous portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, on the obverse. Jefferson's likeness, facing left, has been the central design on the nickel since 1938, and it remains one of the most iconic images on U.S. coinage. Around his portrait are the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting, 2000. Jefferson, known for his contributions to the founding of the nation and his role in drafting the Declaration of Independence, is depicted with dignity, capturing the essence of his historical significance. On the reverse of the 2000 nickel, we find an image of Monticello, Jefferson's grand plantation home in Virginia. The neoclassical building, designed by Jefferson himself, has been a prominent feature of the nickel since 1938, symbolizing his legacy as an architect, landowner, and public figure. Monticello's depiction on the reverse is as detailed and majestic as ever, reflecting the beauty and architectural significance of the estate. The words, United States of America, e pluribus unum, out of many, one, and the denomination, 5 cents, are inscribed around the Monticello building, completing the design. The 2000 nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson series, which has been praised for its classic style and connection to American history. While the design remains largely unchanged from previous years, it continues to serve as a symbol of the nation's founding principles and the enduring importance of Jefferson's contributions. The minting process of the 2000 nickel. The 2000 nickel, like most modern U.S. coins, was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint produced these coins in large quantities to meet the demand for circulating currency, which remained high at the turn of the century. The composition of the 2000 nickel was consistent with the traditional alloy used for decades, 75% copper and 25% nickel. This mixture of metals gives the coin its signature appearance, a bright, silvery color and a durable, long-lasting finish that resists wear and tear in circulation. Although the standard circulation version of the 2000 nickel was minted in large numbers, the U.S. Mint also produced proof versions of the coin. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors, using polished dies to create a coin with sharp, well-defined details and a smooth, mirror-like finish. These proof versions were struck at the San Francisco Mint, and they were sold to collectors in limited quantities. As with other proof coins, the 2000 nickel's design was enhanced by the striking process, making it a valuable and highly sought-after item for those who appreciate the beauty and quality of collector coins. One of the most important aspects of proof coins, such as the 2000 nickel, is their quality. Because proof coins are not meant for circulation, they are made with extra care, ensuring that each coin is free from the damage and wear that often occurs in coins used in everyday transactions. As a result, proof coins are considered the finest examples of a given year's coinage, and they are often valued higher than coins produced for circulation. Notable errors and varieties of the 2000 nickel. While the 2000 nickel's design remained consistent with earlier versions, it's the errors and varieties that make this coin particularly interesting to collectors. Minting errors can occur at various points in the production process, and they often result in coins that are different from what was intended. These errors can create unique and rare varieties, which is why collectors are always on the lookout for coins that don't conform to the standard design. One of the most common types of minting errors for the 2000 nickel is the double die variety. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, resulting in noticeable doubling of the design features. For the 2000 nickel, the most common area where doubling can be observed is in the date, where the digits may appear to overlap or be slightly duplicated. A 2000 nickel with a double die error is highly collectible, and depending on the severity of the doubling, it can be worth much more than a regular nickel. These error coins can fetch anywhere from $50 to $500, or even more, depending on their condition and rarity. Another type of error that may be found on the 2000 nickel is the off-center strike error. An off-center strike occurs when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be cut off on one side. Off-center strikes are visually striking, as they give the coin a distorted appearance, and they are considered a rare variety that is highly sought after by collectors. Depending on the degree of the off-center strike, these coins can command prices ranging from $100 to $1,000 or more. In addition to these errors, some 2000 nickels may exhibit die cracks or clashes. Die cracks occur when the dies used to strike the coins develop small fractures, creating noticeable lines or breaks in the design. These cracks can be particularly interesting to collectors, especially if they appear in significant areas of the coin, such as near the lettering or the image of Monticello. Similarly, die clashes, which occur when the dies used to strike the coin inadvertently touch each other, can create strange, ghost-like images on the coin. Both die cracks and die clashes are examples of the types of minting flaws that make error coins unique and valuable. Collector appeal and value of the 2000 nickel. While the standard 2000 nickel may not be worth much more than its face value in typical circulation, its appeal to collectors lies in the potential for rare varieties and minting errors. As with most U.S. coins, a well-preserved 2000 nickel in uncirculated condition can fetch a higher price than a worn coin, and certain proof versions can be worth significantly more. The proof version of the 2000 nickel, for example, might be worth anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on its condition and the demand from collectors. The real value, however, comes from the error varieties. A 2000 nickel with a double die strike, off-center error, or die crack can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin. Coins that are graded as MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, or those that feature rare errors, can attract significant attention at coin auctions, and their prices can rise accordingly. In addition to these rare varieties, the 2000 nickel remains an important coin in the context of U.S. coinage, and it's likely to continue to attract the interest of collectors for years to come. As the years go by, the number of well-preserved 2000 nickels in circulation will decrease, which means that finding a high-quality specimen will become increasingly difficult. This, in turn, could drive up the value of these coins as time goes on. Conclusion: the legacy of the 2000 nickel. The 2000 nickel, like many other U.S. coins, is a fascinating piece of numismatic history. While its design may not have undergone any significant changes, the potential for discovering rare varieties, proof coins, and minting errors makes this nickel an interesting and valuable piece for collectors. Whether you're drawn to its connection to Thomas Jefferson and Monticello, its role in the history of U.S. coinage, or the chance to find an error variety, the 2000 nickel is an essential coin for anyone interested in the world of numismatics. As we continue to explore other coins in this series, including the 2025-cent coin, we will see how each year's issue brings its own unique characteristics, stories, and opportunities for collectors. For those who enjoy the hunt for rare and valuable coins, the 2000 nickel offers a solid foundation for building a collection, while also providing the chance to uncover hidden treasures along the way. The 2020 United States 5-cent coin, known simply as the nickel, was minted during a year that would forever be remembered in history for the challenges posed by the global COVID-19 pandemic. This period marked a unique intersection of historical significance and numismatic interest, as the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins despite the widespread disruptions caused by the pandemic. The 2020 nickel, much like other coins from this era, presents a fascinating opportunity to explore its design, minting details, collector appeal, and value, all while reflecting on the extraordinary context in which it was created. The historical context of the 2020 nickel. The year 2020 was one that saw the world grappling with an unprecedented health crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic led to widespread lockdowns, economic turmoil, and shifts in daily life. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued its coin production efforts, striving to keep up with the demand for currency, which remained high despite the economic uncertainty. Coins like the 2020 nickel continued to circulate as part of the essential transactions that occurred, even though physical currency was often exchanged less frequently due to the rise of digital payments. In a time of uncertainty, people turned to various forms of stability, including tangible items like coins. The 2020 nickel holds a particular significance because it represents a moment in time when the world faced a global crisis, and yet the production of everyday currency carried on, a symbol of resilience in a challenging period. Collectors and numismatists alike have found themselves reflecting on the historical context of these coins, adding to their value and appeal as both an investment and a historical artifact. The 2020 nickel was struck with the same design as its predecessors from the Jefferson series, though the timing of its minting placed it in a unique historical context. For those who collect coins for their connection to historical events, the 2020 nickel stands out as a symbol of a pivotal moment in global history, serving as a reminder of the year that changed the world. The design of the 2020 nickel. The design of the 2020 nickel remained consistent with the traditional Jefferson Monticello motif that has defined the coin since 1938. On the obverse, the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson dominates the coin, along with the familiar inscriptions, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting, 2020. Jefferson, one of the most influential figures in American history, continues to serve as the central figure of this design, honoring his legacy as the author of the Declaration of Independence and the third President of the United States. On the reverse side, the Monticello building, Jefferson's Virginia estate, remains the centerpiece of the design. The neoclassical structure, which represents Jefferson's vision for architecture and public life, has been featured on the nickel since 1938. The reverse design also includes the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, out of many, one, and the denomination, 5 cents, completing the coin's visual appeal. While the basic design has not changed since the late 1930s, the 2020 nickel carries with it the weight of the era in which it was minted. The year 2020, marked by the challenges of the pandemic and the subsequent economic and societal shifts, adds a layer of depth to this coin's history. Collectors of the future may look back on the 2020 nickel as a piece of numismatic history that offers a glimpse into life during one of the most significant global crises in modern times, the minting process of the 2020 nickel. The minting process for the 2020 nickel largely followed the same procedures used for producing nickels in previous years. The U.S. Mint used the traditional composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel for the coin's alloy, ensuring that it remained durable and resistant to wear and tear during circulation. This combination of metals gives the nickel its signature bright silver appearance, while also providing it with the strength needed to withstand the rigors of everyday use. Although the production of the 2020 nickel occurred during the pandemic, the U.S. Mint maintained its operations, adjusting its protocols to meet health and safety requirements while continuing to strike coins for circulation. The minting facilities, located in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, played a key role in ensuring that a steady supply of coins was available to meet the ongoing demand. The 2020 nickel was minted in large quantities, and as with other years, the majority of these coins were produced for circulation. However, proof versions of the 2020 nickel were also struck at the San Francisco Mint. These proof coins were created for collectors, using polished dies to create a coin with an exceptional finish and sharp, high-quality details. The 2020 proof nickel, available in limited quantities, became a desirable item for those who collect proof coins and seek out the finest examples of modern U.S. coinage. Notable errors and varieties of the 2020 nickel. As with most coins, the 2020 nickel is not immune to the occasional minting error, which can create rare and valuable varieties for collectors. Minting errors occur when there is an issue with the dies or the minting process, resulting in coins that deviate from the standard design. These errors are often highly sought after because they are considered anomalies in the coin production process. One of the most common errors for the 2020 nickel is the double die variety, which occurs when the design is struck more than once, leading to a noticeable doubling of the letters or numbers on the coin. For the 2020 nickel, this type of error can often be seen in the date or the inscription, Liberty, where the letters appear to be doubled or slightly misaligned. Coins with this error can command a premium price, depending on the degree of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. Another type of error that may be found on the 2020 nickel is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or distorted. Off-center strikes are easily identifiable, as they result in a coin that has an uneven or crooked appearance. Off-center error coins are considered rare and valuable, especially if the error is significant and the coin remains in good condition. Die cracks are also common errors that can appear on the 2020 nickel. These cracks form when the dies used to strike the coin develop small fractures, creating lines or imperfections in the design. These die cracks can be subtle or more pronounced, and they add a unique character to the coin, making it stand out among other examples of the same year. Collector appeal and value of the 2020 nickel. The 2020 nickel, while relatively common in terms of its standard circulation version, holds significant appeal for collectors, particularly those interested in error varieties or proof coins. Like many other modern coins, the standard 2020 nickel is worth only its face value of 5 cents in typical circulation. However, as with all U.S. coins, the value of the 2020 nickel can increase if it is in pristine condition, graded highly by a professional service, or features an interesting error or variety. Proof versions of the 2020 nickel, which were struck with extra care to ensure high-quality finishes, are often valued higher than their circulating counterparts. Depending on the quality and the demand from collectors, a proof 2020 nickel can be worth anywhere from $10 to $25, or even more for particularly well-preserved examples. These proof coins are especially valuable to collectors who appreciate the intricate design and flawless finish that proof coins offer. The real value for collectors lies in the potential for finding rare error varieties. A 2020 nickel with a double die, off-center strike, or die crack could be worth significantly more than a regular coin. Depending on the rarity of the error, such coins could fetch prices ranging from $50 to several $100s. The key to determining the value of these error coins is their condition and the severity of the minting flaw. Coins in mint or near mint condition will always command a higher price than those with significant wear. Conclusion: the legacy of the 2020 nickel. The 2020 nickel represents more than just a standard coin in the U.S. Mint's ongoing series. It is a product of a year marked by a global health crisis, social and economic upheaval, and a shift in how the world functions. For collectors, the 2020 nickel offers an intriguing opportunity to explore not just the design and minting details, but also the historical context in which the coin was produced. Like many modern coins, the 2020 nickel may seem ordinary at first glance, but its potential for minting errors, proof versions, and its place in the history of U.S. coinage makes it a valuable piece for collectors. As the years pass, these coins will become increasingly rare in uncirculated condition, and their value may rise as collectors seek to complete their collections with well-preserved examples from this extraordinary year. Whether you're interested in the 2020 nickel for its design, its connection to historical events, or the possibility of discovering rare errors, this coin offers something for everyone. As we close this series on the 1995, 2000, and 2025-cent coins, we see that despite the years between their releases, each coin tells its own unique story, a story of history, craftsmanship, and the ongoing legacy of U.S. coinage.